What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How are you all doing? We got the Fox mug today. We got our coffee. We're feeling good. Grab your coffee and take a look at this absolutely disgusting transmog. Listen, this is, once again, not my fault. Twitch chat has, I don't know, they're being mean, okay? They're being mean. It's not my fault. This is just the way it is. It looks like I ran into a Covenant secondhand store and just grabbed as many things as I could and then ran out the back door before the police got there, you know? This is courtesy of Thor. So thank you, Thor. This is about as disgusting as it could have gotten. It's good. I think every video we're going to have a new transmog. That's what I'm feeling. I feel like every night when I get on Twitch, there's people who are like, yeah, we're changing that. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Today's going to be a bit of a different video. We're having a lot of fun, and I tried out the Chains of Devestation Lego as an Ellie Shaman to heal a plus 11 Sanguine Depths. Now, I know that people have healed higher keys as an Ellie Shaman, but I was just pugging this and like just getting into the groove of this, taking it for a run, and I have a lot more testing that I want to do because this thing is like, it's very weird, and I'm not used to it, and so bear with me here. We will do more Chains of Devestation videos because they're really fun to do, but I think I need to do it with like a group of people that I can be on comms with so that I can tell them to like heal themselves when I don't have any healing left. But let me walk you through how this works, because I bet you people don't really understand why on earth I would decide to try to heal a plus 11 with an Ellie Shaman instead of just taking a healer. First of all, you obviously get an additional DPS, and you can see, I think I have my damage overall here. Let me look at, oh, no, we did too many dungeons afterwards. That's okay. We can look at the Twitch VOD later. Get to the very end here. What did we do overall? What did we do overall? Let me look right here. So,
Watch it. I think he's going to be streaming it.
chain heal was 50% of our healing.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry, I'm chatting with people. So we did 8.5k DPS overall, and then we did 5.1k healing overall, which is kind of insane. 5k healing overall is like, it's actually not bad for healing, and then 8.5k DPS overall is obviously low, but it's not for a healer, right? If you're being a healer, that's really good DPS overall. So anyway, let me walk you through how this works. Let me just walk you through this. So Chains of Devestation, what does this say? This is the legendary this is all based on. Casting Chain Heal makes your next Chain Lightning instant cast and deal 50% increased damage. Casting Chain Lightning makes your next Chain Heal instant cast and consume no mana. Right? So I'll just show you really quick. I'm going to cast my Chain Lightning. We'll start with that. And then, boom, my Chain Heal is instant. I cast my Chain Heal. Oh, I have to set focus on myself. I'll talk about that in a second. I cast Chain Heal. Now my Chain Lightning is instant. And it does 50% more damage. Then I cast Chain Heal, then Chain Lightning, then Chain Heal, then Chain Lightning, then Chain Heal, then Chain Lightning. You get the idea, right? Of course, this isn't the only thing that you can press. You can press other buttons if you want to. But the point is, this is how your healing rotation works. Your Chain Heal becomes free because of Chains of Devestation. Casting Chain Heal makes your next instant cast and consume no mana. So, this doesn't work the same way on Resto Shaman, just so you know. It actually, the Resto Shaman one does not, it does consume mana. So they kind of change it there. But for Ellie Shaman, it consumes no mana. So baseline, your healing rotation becomes Chain Lightning into Chain Heal. That's what you do. You cast Chain Lightning into Chain Heal, and you just do it all the time. Now, one thing that is essential to this, in my opinion, to make this work, is to have a macro. So I have a macro right here for Chain Heal, and all it says is to cast Chain Heal on my focus target. That's what that means. /cast at focus Chain Heal. That's all that does. What does that mean? Well, I set my focus to a particular person, okay? So I just set my focus to myself, but let's see if there's anybody in town here. Let's set our focus on this guy. Set focus on the DK. So now I have this guy as my set focus. Now I'm going to target somebody else. I'm going to target this guy here, and I'm going to throw a healing surge at him. Now, if I press Chain Heal even though I'm targeting this guy, it's going to go over here. See how it goes over to this guy? I'm not even targeting him. Because he's my focus target, it automatically goes to him. Now, this becomes significant in the dungeon. What you do in the dungeon is you set yourself as the focus. Sorry, you can't see that. I'll do that up here. Set focus right here on myself, on Zuko, right? Now, I've got it up here. You can see that. What does that mean? That means that I can press Chain Lightning over here, and then I can instantly press Chain Heal, and it'll go to myself. And you can't see it bouncing, but it'll do that. It goes to myself. Chain Lightning, Chain Heal, keeps doing it over and over again. That's what it does. Now, that's important because when you're in the dungeon, you're going to see that I become the centralized location for my Chain Heal to bounce off of. So when I'm running around in a dungeon and I have Chain Heal, the instant Chain Heal ready to go, I can press it and it will bounce from me to whoever else is nearby. Now, there is a range on Chain Heal, so you become this mobile turret, basically. You start moving around, and you become the first point of where your Chain Heal bounces off of. So, if you need to heal somebody who's really far away, like you'll see in the video, there's some warlocks that are, like, really far away from me, because I'm usually near the tank, because I want my Chain Heal to bounce to the tank. But if I want it to bounce to the warlocks, I need to run towards the warlocks so that when it bounces off of me, it'll bounce to them. Hopefully that makes sense. That's really, really critical. Now, you could, of course, just... It depends on the makeup of your group. If you had, like, a full melee group, this is ideal with a full melee group. It's actually really, really bad with, like, a bunch of ranged people because ranged people tend to stand really far away. And then you have to go find them with your Chain Heal, with your macro on yourself, and it like gets really weird, and you'll see that in the video as well. But if you had a full melee group, you could just set your focus to the tank, and then your Chain Heal would always bounce from the tank to everybody else, all the melee people who are nearby. So that would be an ideal way to do this. Now, that's the setup here. We start with Chains of Devastation. That's our legendary. And you're going to set up this macro so that you're macroing it to yourself so that you don't have to, like, go to the raid frames, the dungeon frames, and target somebody with Chain Heal. You can just instant cast it over and over and over again. It makes the playstyle really smooth. That's the beginning. Now, what else do we do here? I ran Kyrian because I think that Vesper Totem is going to do the most damage and the most healing. I think it has the best, like, synergy that way. And you can move it around depending where you want the healing or the damage to go, right? Which is very important. So I ran Kyrian for this. And I did run Mechanicos as well to make sure that I got the cooldown reduction because Vesper Totem literally becomes your best heal. Let me just move into, like, the cooldown section of this video really quickly and talk about what cooldowns you need. So I ran Kyrian, so Vesper Totem is your best healing cooldown by far. So it's a 1 minute or like a 40-second cooldown more likely. And then on top of that, it does obviously a lot of damage as well, but it's your best healing cooldown. You're going to plop that sucker down, and then when you cast your Chain Heal, your instant cast Chain Heals, I need to hit something with Chain Lightning. I'm going to Chain Lightning over here. Hold on. Right, so we're going to go here. We'll go Chain Lightning into Chain Heal. That procs it, and then we'll Chain Lightning into Chain Heal. That procs it. Chain Lightning again into Chain Heal. Procs. See how many times it procs? It procs all the procs for Vesper Totem just went off right there. See how easy that is? And see how much damage it did? It did a crazy amount of damage, right? So that's how you do it. When you alternate between Chain Lightning and Chain Heal, it'll proc both sides of the Vesper Totem so you get the full value out of it. So that's why I think it works really well with this build. I think it works incredibly well here. So we ran Kyrian, I ran Mechanicos, and here's the talents that I ran. Now, the talent setup is a little bit strange. I think I actually ran Liquid Magma Totem. Yep, I did in the dungeon. Sorry, I have that's wrong right here. What you want to get out of your talents here is the most passive benefits you can possibly get. So, I actually should have run Earth and Rage. That was a huge mistake. I don't know why I didn't run Earth and Rage. But I ended up running this, but this is so useless. I never press Lava Burst, like, almost never. So I really should not have run this, but it was my first time doing it, and I wasn't thinking about it. But 100% you need Ancestral Guidance. This is your next best cooldown. So Vesper Totem is number 1 for cooldowns. Ancestral Guidance is number 2. 25% of your damage and healing is converted to healing on up to 3 nearby injured party or raid members. Huge. It's enormous. That means your Chain Heals and your Chain Lightnings both feed into your Ancestral Guidance. As well as everything else. If you have like an Earthquake down on the ground, whatever, right? So Very important that you have that. And then I went Primal Elementalist just because there isn't really a better option in this row, I don't think. You're basically never pressing Lava Burst or Flame Shock or Frost Shock, and you don't cast Lightning Bolt really that much either. You're just casting Chain Lightning all the time. So Surge is bad, Ice Fury is an absolute no, so Primal's the only one left. And of course, it does give you a better Earth Elemental, which is pretty cool, and it gives you a better Fire Elemental. And then Stormkeeper is the other, like, essential piece to this. This is all of your damage, basically, is from Stormkeeper. You're going to start a pack just like every Ellie Shaman ever does. You start with Stormkeeper, and you do a huge blast of damage, and you get a couple Earthquakes down, and then everything is good to go. 1 sec here. There we go. So that's your setup. Don't get Echo. Take Earthen instead. I totally screwed that up. So take Earthen, take Aftershock. Spirit Wolf's fine. Oh, no, actually, Earth Shield. You need Earth Shield because you're healing. So this is your other heal. I was just running a dungeon on my Ellie Shaman, so I had everything set up differently. That's my apologies there. But here's what you want to do. You want to put Earth Shield on yourself because you're going to be the focus macro, right? So then every time you press your chain heal, it bounces from you, and that initial heal is going to hit you 20% harder. So you always want Earth Shield on yourself, and then you want to bounce your heals off of yourself onto other people. And then you have Vesper Totem, and you have Ancestral Guidance. Those are your cooldowns. You also have Healing Stream Totem, which you should just keep down on cooldown. Just put it down. As soon as it comes off cooldown, put it down again, because you're going to need it. Okay? So that's the setup. I know this took forever to talk about, but I just want to make sure you guys understand. Chains of Devestation, plus Kyrian. And then our talents, our Ancestral Guidance is 100%. You should go Earth and Rage and Earth Shield and Stormkeeper. This is my general setup here. And then we do run Mechanicals as well. Let's jump into the video, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I'm talking about, because some of it's a little bit nuanced, and it's hard to maybe, like, understand exactly what I mean. So let's jump into it here. We went to the end of the dungeon. What are we looking at here for the opener? Looks like 310. Let's go to 310. So here we go. Here's the opener. There will be some Discord noise in the background.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm gonna just turn that down a little bit. But
Hopefully he pulls.
just because I was in with the guild group and talking to people while we were doing this. So here's the opening pack here. He's gonna pull all the stuff together. This is great for us. Again, AOE damage for Ellie Shaman is very strong, right?
We stayed Kyrian.
So I put my Vesper Totem down. Again, I am the healer here. Chain Lightning. Look how much damage. I mean, we're doing damage, right? We're doing 20k DPS. One other thing that I do have, let me go really, really quickly to show you this. One other thing I have is this trinket here. This one here, Lingering Sun Mode. So it creates a patch of light that does an absorb on everybody. Every 4 seconds, it does an absorb for 8,500. So it ends up being a 21k absorb, which is actually pretty substantial. And then it has just a flat amount of intellect, which is really good. So I was also running that trinket, and it actually worked out very well. I like that trinket a lot. So just keep that in mind. You're going to see little absorbs going off. You can see an absorb right there. But our damage is crazy. I mean, the Survival Hunter carried this key for sure. But here I am. I'm just alternating between Chain Lightning and...
Oh, shoot. It's bursting. Oh, I didn't think about that.
It was, in fact, bursting me. This was last week, so it was bursting. I actually totally forgot about it when I was going into the dungeon. So this is a lot harder. It's actually, you shouldn't do this build on bursting week. It's just a nightmare because you don't have, you're kind of like a paladin, a holy paladin, where you can't heal unless you can, like, do damage, right? So I set myself as the focus here. I'm running around. I pop Ancestral Guidance here just to keep the tank going. I do have a Death Knight tank, which I think is actually pretty important as well. I think you kind of need a self-sustaining tank for this build to work, because you don't have huge triage healing for one target. You just have good AoE healing. But look, we're doing 8.1k HPS and 14k damage right now. You see this? Like, those are real numbers. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that for this role that I'm trying to fill, right? Again, this is a plus 11, and we've got Volcanic plus bursting here, which is again, not too bad, but the bursting is pretty nasty. So again, we're doing good damage here. Again, like we're beating other people in damage, which is not necessarily a good thing, but that's just we're not doing like 0 damage. This is the whole point of this, is to see, can we do a lot of healing and also a lot of damage at the same time? And it turns out that, yeah, we actually do a lot of damage. So I also forgot to run this dungeon with any resto conduits. I should have run with resto conduits, and I completely forgot that part. So that was a mistake. Oh, let me show you the AoE packs really quick. Sorry, it's at 550 right here. So these AoE packs right here, this is like very dangerous, right? Because there's a lot of mobs. So I get my chain heal, chain lightning combo going. I put my absorb. You can see the absorbs. That's my absorb trinket. I forgot to put liquid magma totem down. That was another big mistake. I didn't do very much. The tank's getting slapped, but he's healing, as a DK should. We're putting earthquakes down. I do have Vesper Totem up, but I haven't used it yet. I think I'm saving it for the next pack. There, I just used it there. Now I used it because I need to heal everybody. Look at the healing coming through there. 8.1k. It's good. It's really good. And we did almost 20k DPS. Almost 20k DPS and 7k healing there. Like, it's good. We have one more AoE pack right here. I do have... Oh, no, we did it all right there. He pulled both packs. So, but I have Vesper Totem back up for the boss. And we'll just look at the Kryxis boss. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because... we don't need to go through the whole thing. But you're going to see that... there's a moment in the Kryxis fight, obviously, where he like slams the ground, and then there's a lot of healing that's required, and that's an important moment. So we pop Lust here. I get all my totems down. Liquid Magma Totem down. Stormkeeper. Big damage from me. We're opening with like 16, 17k here. People were subbing on Twitch, so thank you again, Nikita and other people who... So again, we're doing 11k DPS here and 4k HPS, which is like not bad at all. Again, for the role that we're trying to fill.
Thank you. Thanks, Nikita.
Then now, there's a big problem coming up here. I've already used my Vesper Totem, and I thought it would be off cooldown again. But here comes Severing Smash. So I need a lot of healing, like right now. I don't have Ancestral Guidance up. I don't have Vesper Totem up. So here's where I just run around. Remember, I've set the focus to myself, so Chain Heal will bounce off of me.
You got sick of my
So I put Vesper Totem back here, and I back up towards the Warlock and the two Warlocks here. I back up towards them. I put Vesper Totem right on top of them, and then I back up towards them so that the Chain Heal will bounce to them. And then I heal them back to full. Then I move my Vesper Totem back up to the front so I can start healing the tank again. You got to understand that? So that's how it kind of works. You need to use that cooldown. It has flexibility. You need to move it around into the right spot so that you can indeed heal the right person at the right time. Otherwise, your heals, like, they're kind of strange like that. It's not just like smart healing where you just press a button and the game figures out where it should go. It's all like manual. You have to do it all yourself. You have to like run to the right spot, put Vesper Totem in the right spot, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, we do get Kryxis down. And the next section here... I used Vesper Totem too early. This is a big mistake here. So I use Vesper Totem here for damage, essentially.
This will be interesting.
So I put Vesper Totem right now, which it does a lot of damage, which is great. But the tank dies right away because neither one of us was sort of ready. So anyway, I needed to focus on the tank a little bit more there. I don't have any real triage tools. Like, I just don't.
It's right there, I know. He doesn't
but
know that.
we end up doing 17k damage, which is kind of what we wanted to do. Curse of Suppression is coming out here, and you can see, because we're a Shaman, that's actually something that I can get rid of. I wasn't paying attention until just now. I finally got rid of it on this Sjarn guy. But Sanguine Depths is a good dungeon for me to do as a Shaman because I can get rid of all the curses. Like, this is the problem. If you don't run a healer, you can't get rid of magic effects. So, lots of dungeons don't necessarily have straight up magic debuffs. They just have like a curse or a poison or a disease, right? And so if you have the right classes that can get rid of those things, then you're actually fine. And we have me here. I'm a Shaman. I don't have a magic dispel because I'm Ellie Shaman, but I do have a curse dispel, so I can get rid of those curses, which is really good. Anyway, Vesper Totem down again. Damage. Again, I'm doing so many things poorly here. It's just crazy. I summoned my Liquid Magma Totem like really late there. Dread Bindings comes out.
Yeah.
So this was nasty here because the bursting was going off and the Dread Bindings went off, and I didn't have anything to hit.
It's like being a pally.
So I start cleaning up a little bit, but I just need to get us. If we get into the next fight, then
highest damage, which is troubling.
So he pulls really big here, which is actually good. Stormkeeper. Then we need to heal everybody here. This is a huge pull. Again, I'm missing stuff like dropping Cap Totem. Vesper Totem's coming back, so I'm actually fine. Basically, Vesper Totem can cover any amount of damage that you take. It's just crazy. So we put it down. We start healing. I'm doing 20k DPS. Dread Bindings goes out. I move Vesper Totem back here to heal the ranged people. Look at Narma. He gets down to 1100 health. Oh, he actually dies there. I must save him at a different time. You can see the weakness here of this build. That there's moments like this when, like, if I'm not totally ready, then it ends up being a bit of a nightmare. So that is my fault there. But I'm just working on it. I'm just trying to get better at it. It's it's just hard to like know exactly what to do. Let's go to 1625. Let's go to the second boss here. This is Executor Tarvold. Executor Tarvold? I don't know. Anyway, so this fight is pretty healing intensive. Now the Survival Hunter just absolutely collapsed, which is really, really great here. But we're doing 11k damage on a boss. It's just like I was really surprised. I was really shocked by the amount of damage we could do. Like really shocked. Now there's curses out. People got hit by the tornado thing that went through, which is unfortunate. I can't really get those off. I clear one of them, I think, but there's not much I can do there. So, but Vesper Totem is up, which is good. It means I have lots of healing. We're dodging the tornadoes. Some people got hit again. I get my Fire Ellie out finally. I get targeted. So I'm just healing. You can see taking a lot of damage here, but we're healing pretty big. Vesper Totem's down. So we got big heals from that. 6.7, 6.8k heals. And we're still doing 6.8, 7.8, 7k DPS. I think on boss fights, your damage is going to be much, much lower, of course, because single target is just not what this build is designed for. But on AoE, you really make up for it with the elemental package. Like there's so much damage for AoE with elemental. So that's it. We end up getting it down, and we move on to the next boss. Now, Beryllia is also a really difficult boss fight because you don't have lust, generally speaking. I think we did here, actually, but I don't know what happened with our lust timing. I probably should have just used it here. Anyway, the tank gets absolutely wrecked in this fight, but this is a really healing-intensive fight, and this is where the focus macro comes into play here. So again, everybody is really spread out. There's a guy behind me. There's two people over here. My chain heal is going to be, like, not very good here. So I need to move myself around, like I'm doing right now, like a little turret, and make sure that I can bounce those heals to the appropriate people, or else they're going to die. See? See what I'm doing there? So I move in here. I'm trying to bounce heals all over the place.
Holy shit, thank you.
Sorry, the subs were coming in on Twitch there.
Was something else. Somebody subscribed.
So that's an important part in this fight is to make sure that you're moving around to get that focus macro to bounce your heals to everybody else. Otherwise, people are just gonna die because it's a lot of healing that is required in this fight. So again, I'm missing a lot of other buttons. I should have put Liquid Magma Totem down here. I should have pressed my Fire Elementals a meteor thing. There's just so many things. So, but I'm focused on healing really hard. So again, I'm moving around. There's a Warlock over there. I'm moving to the left here to try and get a chain heal on this guy. Because in this portion of the dungeon, everybody just takes a crazy amount of damage. This is a tyrannical boss, but it's only an 11. So we're doing our best to just keep everybody up.
Standing 500 yards apart, I can't do anything.
So that's how that fight goes. It's not actually too bad. We do end up getting her down.
It's a nasty.
We only do about 4k DPS overall. Which, again, the rest of our group was only also doing that. And then we did 5k HPS. So the healing per second is, like, very strong in this build, actually. It's really shocking. It's the damage on single targets that it's going to suffer, and then your AoE will make up for it. But let's skip to the last boss here. General Kaal. Actually, we'll go to... Here, we're just going to make a little mention here for... I'm getting trolled by Twitch chat. Just watch this. This is pretty funny.
A dick. That's fine.
Bearno just keeps cheering over and over again.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
It just keeps
I'm
happening.
a build where I have to focus so flippin' hard.
It just keeps happening.
Yeah, I think so.
There's some bursting going off. Very difficult to deal with this build.
Oh my god.
He cheered times 20 like 15 times in a row or something. So there we go. This is a good example. I pop Ancestral Guidance. Let me go back a little bit. Look at everybody's health. I pop Ancestral Guidance right now. Watch my healing. 3.2. Oh, it comes back here. There we go. It's going now. 5.6, 6.4, 10 point. Look at the healing. 10.6.
Bear, I swear
We just got everybody, picked everybody up from the grave.
to God.
Keep going, Bear. Fuck him up.
I swear to God, Bearno.
He was trolling me pretty hard. Let's go to the last boss. But you can see that's how your tools work, right? Everybody takes a huge amount of damage. You pop Ancestral Guidance. Boom, everybody gets back up again. So let's move to the last boss. Let's go to General Kaal, 2715. So
It's going to be interesting because I can't take this thing off now.
So this
That's the
fight
whole point.
is, again, it's only single target, so we're not going to do as much damage, but you just have to cycle through your tools, right? You use your Vesper Totem. As Vesper Totem goes down, if you need a lot of healing, you pop Ancestral Guidance. Once Ancestral Guidance goes down, your Vesper Totem will be, maybe 15 seconds away, so you pop into Vesper Totem again. I didn't use Healing Stream nearly enough,
Exactly.
but I do end up using the
25,
Trinket right here. Here comes the Absorb Trinket. I pop it right there. You can see there's absorbs for everybody. And if we stay in the circle, it keeps absorbing more and more. So here comes the second absorb right there. And then another one right after. So it's actually a good heal if you can put it down properly. You just have to make sure you do it properly. So here comes Vesper Totem. Everybody's dying. So I'm like, okay, Vesper Totem time.
14K.
Boom. Chain lightning, chain heal. Chain lightning, chain heal. Boom, boom. Everybody gets back up. Again, the warlocks are kind of like standing out of the range of my heals, I think. So that's just like, that's a tough one. But this platform is pretty tiny, which is good for this build because it allows us to get everybody back up. This fight's also super. Here's another moment. I think I have Vesper Totem's coming back, so I pop Vesper Totem right here. Boom, goes down. Pop a chain heal. I have to move it right here. And this is where Namura gets to 1600, and I actually keep him alive this time. Boom, boom, boom. There's the Vesper Totem chain heal combo right there. It's just really good. Picking people up off the grave. And that's it.
Holy shit, we got through. Okay.
So, and again, 8.5k DPS, 5.1k healing overall. Not bad, actually. Not bad at all. It certainly could be better, and it will get better. I messed up in so many places, but here's what's interesting about this. I think that you could play this a couple different ways. You could go Venthyr, or you could go Kyrian. I like the Kyrian one. I think it might be better, but Venthyr is very strong. The upfront healing from Chain Harvest is huge. Then the Riptides that you get afterwards, also huge. Like, really, really good. Those Riptides would be amazing. And then the cooldown of Chain Harvest, I don't have a lot of crit with this build, but it might be okay. I only have 21% crit. So cooling down Chain Harvest might take a little bit longer than normal. Maybe it's like a 40-second, 45-second cooldown. But if this is consistently a 45-second cooldown, that's exactly what my Kyrian totem is, like Vesper Totem is. So it might be a similar thing there, but something to think about that I'm going to keep trying in the future. But there you have it, guys. That is Chains of Devastation. We healed a plus 11 Sanguine Depths. I think that you could go much higher, and I've seen videos of people healing with this thing as an LE Shaman in much higher dungeons, but they had a whole group of people who knew what was going on. So I'm going to try this, I think, with our group at some point. I'd love to do like a 15 or a 16 as LE Shaman and just pump and try and see as much healing as I can do, because I think it'll actually work really well. And of course, I need to refine these talents. I barely used Earth Shield. I barely used Liquid Magma Totem. I didn't have Earth and Rage. A lot of mistakes that I made there. But this is the build. It actually works. It's really fun, and it's just really fun to like try out something new in the expansion at this point in the expansion, because we've tried kind of everything that we can possibly try, right? So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much again for watching. Let me just make a plug once again for the Patreon poll. There's a link down below. Go to the Patreon poll and let me know if you can support me on Patreon, if you'd be willing to support me on a monthly basis. We've got 8 people signed up so far. I'm just looking to see how many people we can kind of get. The poll is up for another 2 weeks, I think, maybe a week and a half. Let me know what you guys think about that, okay? Thank you so much again for watching. If you like the video, drop a like down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, get down there and subscribe as well. And until the next one, guys, I'll see you later.